Hi, welcome to Living the Questions. This is a podcast where I'm really hoping to get up to just a lot of relating, a lot of being in that messy middle part of having questions without answers. I'm starting to notice that much of life is that. This idea came from a beautiful quote from Rilke, who had said maybe the point of life is to live into the questions and slowly but surely find our way to the answers, live our way into the answers. So, this podcast is all about what does it look like to live those questions? What questions are we currently living now? There may be a million questions that we're living now. And what does it look like to explore what some of them might be? A big invitation that I have that brought me to wanting to create this podcast in the first place is the question of what does it look like to just allow your voice to become. I guess there's like a self-protective part of me that almost gets nervous before every conversation. If you're a human design person, I have a undefined throat center, which definitely gives me some understanding of how I speak, how I communicate, and what fears and blocks come up around that. And the funny part is, I love communication. I love diving in deep into conversation. I love getting up to relating. And also, there is a piece of me that comes up that's nervous, that feels like I need to have the right thing to say, or, um, what if, what are other people thinking maybe about what I'm sharing? And part of relating that I've learned is letting go of all of that, letting go of the worry of what anyone else might have, which is just a projection of my own inner critic anyway. And whatever someone else might have isn't my business unless they decide to make it mine. And I can also go after clarity there if I want to. There's so many options here other than just being stuck in fear and not actually getting to know myself better, or inviting other people to know me better, or to even get to learn what my voice might be, or how conversations may have a ripple effect that I could never imagine if I weren't putting myself out there to be known by myself or by another. And so this is an invitation for me to live into that question. What does it look like to move beyond that fear point, that point that would otherwise block me? Another thing I'm remembering about this question is that really we're always being asked to show up as we are, to show up congruently. What does it mean for us in this moment to be present and to not feel like I need to be anything other than I am in this moment? And what does it look like to meet myself in this moment? It's an intimidating thing sometimes, and yet it's one of the most simple things that we can live into. And I say simple, not easy, because just because something is simple and we can simplify it and it can be clear in a one sentence or one word understanding, it doesn't necessarily mean it's easy to get to. Like I was mentioning, there's so many layers on top of what comes up to block what might otherwise be as simple as saying, what do I have in this moment? And so it's a little bit of a work in progress, a little bit of a continued practice and continued coming to awareness of realizing, oh, I don't need to do that. I can just show up with what I have, or even getting curious and finding new ways to ask myself, what do you have right now without the other stuff in the way? And we are so good at these protective mechanisms we put in place that sometimes there are things that are still blocking us that we may not even realize we're getting up to because it's so subconscious. And so this is a big invitation to step into that practice of what does it look like to just show up as I am with what I have in the moment and meet that moment and meet myself and bring myself to the table and meet another where they are, not needing to have anything different than what is available in the moment. Can I meet those moments when that unconscious, unconscious incompetence with the skill that I'm wanting to build, of just allowing myself to be present, to be congruent, and to not have to feel like I need something specific to say or get in my head with projections or any of the other things that have stopped me before. Can I honor those things and also choose differently? And this is the question I'm living into. So I'm ready to move into it. It feels scary and intimidating, as all questions do, because living in the questions means we're living in the unknown. We're stepping into an area of life that we've never explored before, or we have, and this is a new way of doing it. And it just feels, yeah, nerve-wracking to do anything new. There's something about, we want that safety feeling of solid ground underneath us whenever we're stepping somewhere. But when we're stepping into something new, we're being asked to trailblaze in a way, because it's new for us, and the way that we personally, who we are individually, how that meets a new moment. There's a brand new relationship there that gets to form, and there's a sweet uniqueness about that. And that uniqueness gets to add to the beauty of the contribution of the whole, of what a beautiful collective looks like when we all step into more of who we are, and how beautiful that is when it comes together. And saying yes to the exploration of who is that individual, and how do we contribute to the whole. Yeah, I have lots of things and lots of thoughts and lots of questions that I'm living into within that big question, but that's the question that started it all. And I'm really excited to dive into it here in every episode and get up to so many more questions within them and through them, and through time. So thank you so much for listening in. It is an honor to have your time, your ear, and to get to share space with you. And I look forward to the journey.